You're live. Am I? Is this thing working? Hello? Hello? The buttons. I think it's working. Yeah, I saw some movement. Um, Unfortunately, the bar on this one doesn't work like the old YouTube. Old YouTube, the bar like ooh, ooh. So you knew if the voice was coming through, and obviously you can see yourself, so you know that it's working. Right. So, yeah. Hello, hello, hello. So, yeah, so I'm doing another vlog. I figured I should do these more often because why not? Um, Half the time I'm just pretty, like, I don't really always have something to talk about. So, um, yeah, so yeah. Anyway, so what's new in my life is I've got there's a YouTuber I follow called Melinda the Mystic Witch. That's it. Anyway, she had a book, and I like her stuff. So that's her book. I don't know if you could see that. Um, I like her videos; they interest me. So I decided that she said she had a book, so I was like, well, I like your videos, so I will get your book and I will read your book. Um, so yeah, so that's new. That came in the mail today. So I was looking forward to reading that. I did have another book that I've already started, so I have to read that one first before I read this one, which is the Raymond D. Weiss book for his new series. I think it's King of Ashes that I'm reading right now. I mean, I can go get it if you want me to. It's hard to say because I mean you can't really see anyone on the other side going, yeah, I don't know. New really. Okay, get this, guys. So I was getting, oh, guys and girls. Obviously, there's potential that there's females out there listening. Really, to my rubbish. You're listening to my rubbish. Okay. Um, it is mostly rubbish in my opinion. It is what it is. I don't. This is the thing when you see people in their daily lives. Most people aren't that interesting when it really comes down to it. Like most people are like, eh. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Um, oh, this book. This one's called Psychic. Oh, hang on. I'll show you the cover. Psychic Defense Against Dark Forces. Which to me, I mean, that sounds interesting. I like occult stuff. So yeah, why not? I don't know if it is occult stuff. I don't know what it is. The point is, I thought it'd be interesting, so I will read that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I took my car to the mechanic today. Now, you might say, um, but mostly you will say, oh yeah. Um, anyway, so I thought because I haven't had the car serviced in a while, like, and I do mean a while. Like the last time I had it serviced was 100,000 Ks. Anyway, I paid the car off last year, and I wasn't like because the bank had no sway over the car anymore. I was like, I will do servicing on the car when I feel I have the money and the time and the energy to do servicing on the car. Otherwise, it can wait. If the car's not broken, if there's nothing wrong with it, it's just working. I'm not spending money on it. All right, as you do, and most adults will go, yes. And the people out there who are new to cars and that will go, oh my God, you're not servicing your car all the time when it says to. Oh no, the world is burning. The world is burning. No. And obviously those car nuts out there that think that a car needs to be serviced like ridiculously amount of times. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I suppose I'm a car nut, so I can't really speak, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, uh, So anyway, so I took my car to the mechanic, and actually, I think I've got a photo of my car on my phone. Let's see if I can pull it up. So I thought the brakes would be tacky, and I thought, I thought to myself that, what's if I talk to you when you're in the middle of something? Hang on, I just need to find a photo. Sorry, let's see. I know there's a photo of me with my car. I just actually have to find. Sorry. No, bad phone. No, bad phone. Photos. God damn it. I hate scrolling through stuff to find something that's like 6 or 7 years old. There's photos maybe. Oh, that's a clean photo of my car, right? So, yeah, you can see I bulked on a few kilos. Actually, interesting. Let's see, but that was a while ago. Let's see if I've got a messages. It might be under messages. Aha. That was when I first got the car, right? You could kind of see that I wasn't that fat. So, yeah. Anyway. So I thought to myself, because I hadn't serviced the car in a while, that I was like, I was expecting a pretty hefty bill. It wasn't too bad, actually. It just said the oil in my car was had its day, which I already knew anyway, because all I was doing with the car, okay, so the car had done 150,000. I last had it serviced prior to that, 100,000. And I was like, yeah. Anyway, so, and to give you, okay, because the rest of the world speaks in kilometres, and only England and America speak in miles per hour because they are backwards and want to live in the dark ages, like a bunch of strange, whatever. You like living in the flipping dark ages and using miles per hour, which is obviously well and truly inaccurate compared to kilometres, but sure, whatever, guys, whatever. Anyway, because he was talking in archaic language that I actually can speak, I will break it down for you who haven't come to the 21st century with the rest of us. Okay, so it's 1.61 mile to, it's 1.61 mile to 1 kilometre, sort of speak. So for 100, so you've got to reverse that because it's archaic speak, and they speak in like gibberish language. But it was because I learned to drive in a car that was miles per hour. Anyway, that works out to 161,000 kilometres for 100,000 miles. Okay, there you go. So my car had done almost 100,000 miles. There. Does that make logical sense to you people who speak in like ancient Latin or whatever it is? Do you want a crescent that's 1/16 or 1/32 or some BS fucking number, or some BS number that nobody can work out because they can't just say it's 5 mils, it's 6 mils, like a rounded off easy to work out number. No, can't do that. Have to speak in gibberish. Why don't we just do in knots as well? Why don't we drag a rope behind a ship to see how fast it's going? You know, we're going to speak in weird, bizarre language. Why don't we? Why don't we just go the full hog and talk like that? You know, what do they measure in the Bible? I think a cubit, which is like from there to there, or whatever, like there to there. Yeah, that's a cubit. Why don't we speak in cubits then? Why don't we? Why would we ever want to come forward in time and actually live in the 21st century, which is where we were at? So, yeah. Why am I having a go at these people? It seems a bit nasty. Bad Stephen. Bad Stephen. It's a bad Stephen. Don't be mean. Anyway, so yeah, so I was talking to the mechanic. So other than the oil being a little bit shitty in the car, and the power steering fluid was a bit low, that was it. So for people who don't like American engineering and prefer this Japanese #1 rice burning, like again, I'm being mean. I'm being mean. I've got to stop being mean. Okay. Okay. I'm checking myself, all right? So if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm trying to not be mean, okay? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to resist troll. Resist the troll. Okay. 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 Serious face. Serious face. Okay. Right. So, yeah, so those people who don't like American engineering and always bag it, saying, oh, you know, we have these smaller, tiny little piddly engines that make more horsepower than your engine. Yeah, well, check out this. My car did 50,000 Ks and all it had was some worn out oil. So, yeah, so for those who don't like lumpy, lazy technology, I will tell you that my lumpy, lazy technology will go harder than your engine for a lot longer. It'll just go, whatever, that wasn't much effort for me. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep going hard. So, yeah, and, yeah. So, bad, Stephen. Stop playing with stuff. Bad. Should have put the pen down. Put the pen down. Anyway. Yeah, so anyway, so I was quite happy with that. And yeah, so the car service wasn't that expensive. And mechanic actually really liked my car. I think they were a bit surprised when I first took it down there. The girl was like, "Oh yeah, so your auto transmission." I was like, "Oh, my car's not an automatic; it's a manual." She was like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah, like." And she's like, "Oh, how'd you get it?" I was like, "Oh, because nobody wanted a manual, so it was like for me, it was like a no-brainer, but like obviously, but." For a lot of other people who don't like like manual cars, yeah, like look, I know automatics are highly sold and everything, but like I can drive. I've always driven manuals, so does that mean I prefer them? No, not necessarily. I think automatics are right. If I had a city car, I'd prefer an automatic. Like if I'm just going accelerator, brake. Makes sense to have an automatic, not rolling through the gears to get to a place, because obviously that can get a bit annoying, especially if you'll start the whole way. I mean, one of the things I've said with my car is I've no intention of modifying my car. I'm happy with it being stock. I don't know, some people might be like, oh, yeah, but you know, you'll have more power, it'll be easy to get power, and blah, blah, blah. You know what? I've modified cars before, and all I can tell you is it's fine. It's just, I prefer my car drives perfectly fine as is. I have no intention of modifying it. Okay, I like the car as it is. It drives really good. It's nice and smooth. I don't get issues with it. Um, and look, the amount of power it has for the road is fine. All right, like a lot of people, yeah, obviously, yeah. It's absolutely freezing cold where I live. I don't know about where you guys are, but where I live, it's absolutely freezing cold. Not happy with the cold. I hate cold. I grew up in the heat, so the cold is not my friend. Um, yeah, I do need to sort out some heating for the house, that's for sure. I want to get a fireplace, which would actually go behind the couch over there, and I'll have to like remove all the furniture and stuff when that happens, but that's fine. I'll cross that bridge when I need to. Um, yeah. Um, you see, there's some things I've wanted to get in my life, and I have to decide what it is that for my house. Now, I've got some main jobs to do in the house, which is painting. I've got to put fans in the house. That shouldn't be too expensive to do the fans. I've got to do, compared to the air conditioning, I would like to get air conditioning for the house. Getting fans versus air conditioning. Fans, yeah, so you can see, like, it, yeah. So there's that. I need to do the painting. Um, and I need to get a fireplace, which is what I put that like thing at the back of the. I don't know, you can't see it from here. It's like a little brick thing. It's specifically made for a fireplace. We decided that corner over there was the best place because it should spread the heat throughout the house best. I know the cat likes a fireplace as well. But the other thing I really, really wanted, well, and you get your TV. As you can see, my TV back there is a bit of this. It's has date. He's replacing it. It's a tiny TV. I need a proper TV, not a little pissant TV. But I want to get a simulation rig for like car racing because I kind of worked that I would never really be able to afford a car to build for a long time. I'd like that. But to do a car project, I need the shed. The shed that I want is probably going to cost me upwards of around $35,000-$40,000. So yeah, that won't be cheap at all. But if I could get that shed, I could put hoist in the shed. Now I thought when I saw Tavares had his own hoist in his sheds, I was like looking at it going, he's obviously got a lot of money, so he's got the nice hoist and everything. But I'm wondering if like an average person can afford a hoist. It turns out you can. They're not overly expensive. I think they start around $3,000 Australian. So that's interesting. And the reason why that's important is because if you're doing a car project, having a hoist and a proper way to get under the car, you've got to do a lot of work under the car. Like you've got to do a lot of work on top of the car, but like 50% of the work is going to be done under the car. So you kind of need a hoist. And obviously, I'd like a spot to put my Commodore, and then get a daily driver that's like a small runabout car. And the kind of project car I've thought about different ones. I thought of doing a racing go-kart that's like the ultra go-kart, like something better than an Ariel Atom. Like, and you might say, what do you mean? I'd be like Formula One technology on like a go-kart. Like, just go full, like, insane on it. Like, absolutely insane. Like, full front wing with downforce, like, full rear wing with, like, proper downforce, like a 500cc engine or something on it, with like 6 gears and like a rear diff. That's something go-karts don't have. Some independent rear suspension and like maybe sway bars if I could get sway bars on there. Yeah, I mean, I meant to go like full insane, go over the top, make something that's insanely fast around a track. Only trouble is with that is um, you could only use it on a track. There's nowhere else you could use it. There is a racetrack near where I live. That's true. So I could take it there, but how they are with all of that, especially with an experimental car. Um, and then I thought, well, I could do a classic car and do up a nice, really nice road car, like a really whatever I could get my hands on. Like if it's a VK Commodore, then that's what I get. If it's a XF, if it's XW, XW would be amazing. I'd love an XW Falcon, but that ain't gonna happen. I mean, the body for these cars. I mean, like you're talking well over 20 grand, like just for a cruddy body that you have to get a truck and like hoist it onto the trailer and haul it back. Like, I mean, we're talking like some insane levels of money, like that you'd need to do a classic car. Like having a shed is art. So you're looking at 40 grand on top just for the shed, and to make sure you've got access to the shed. The shed, trying to be not working. And then go from there. So you go, then you got to get the car body, which is like, yeah. Then you got to get the engine. I mean, to do a proper car project, you're probably looking at well over 100 grand, easy. And I mean, that's you doing a lot of the work yourself. Like, so that's why I thought a sim rig, which could potentially for a decent sim rig, like say, like Jimmy Broadbent's got, I think you'd be looking at about 6 grand. So you can see there's a huge difference in price, and you immediately get gratification out of the sim rig. You just jump in the thing, you drive whatever car you want to drive, it doesn't matter. So you say to yourself, I want to drive a Ferrari. So you get to the sim rig, you load up a Ferrari, you drive a Ferrari, that kind of thing. Like, so you can experience all the different cars from around the world and go, well, I like that car, I don't like that car. Yeah. Um, so, I mean, look, that's just me. That's what I'm thinking, spitballing, rolling in my head. The other thing I need to get for around the house is the patio. Oh, veranda. I guess you Americans call it, or it's the big middle tin roof that goes around so you can use the outside area. Oh, that's it. Yes, that's it. I need to get that done. That's not overly expensive. I think at the moment though, tin is way too much money. I think, yeah, I look not worth doing anything tin wise for a while. Just because I mean, looking at like for a house my size, which is just an average house, what I want to do probably be looking at the moment. If you were going to buy today's prices, I think you'd be looking at 20 grand for the patio. But I could probably do a lot of the work myself. I know I can do all the welding myself. I know I can do all the like dig all the holes, put all the supports in, and all of that. That wouldn't actually be that hard for me. It'll just be tedious and annoying, but I could definitely do it. But even if I was to get all the metal, I wouldn't be saving a huge amount of money. The only annoying thing is you have to get it all council approved, and that can take time. So, and then they might require you to have like a builder to come and do it. Like, even though you could do it yourself, they might be like, nah, you have to get a qualified builder because I said so. You can't really argue with the council. They just say, you're going to do that, you're going to do that. So, unfortunately, yeah, at the moment, I've got a job to do. I'm waiting for the rain to go away and for winter to sort of calm down a bit. I've got to, where my septic tank is, because it's an open exposed septic tank, because that is what I mean about the council. Council demand, and you have to get this thing, even though a regular septic tank would have done just fine. But you need this special one you need to service every year. Anyway, so which I think I've got to pay the bill on that soon. Actually, I think that's due. um, bugger. And yeah, that's like $500 every year to get serviced. So they come around like 4 times a year, and that's what it costs. So that's why I wasn't overly happy with the used septic tank that has issues that my neighbours told me about, where the pumps break on them, and they're like $700 each to repair. So yeah. So if you think that these anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build I've got a bunch of leftover bricks. So I'm going to dig out a trench around this thing, and then I'm going to put concrete in the trench, make sure it's all level and flat. Then I'm going to build a brick wall that goes around the whole thing. Then I can build a wooden palisade, or I don't know what to call it, a wooden thing, a wooden decking that goes over that you can open up. So you can still service it, but you don't have to look at it. Yeah, so the reason why I'm doing that job first is because I've already got the bricks. That was just leftovers, so that's not costing me any money. So I just need to get some concrete, and I just need to dig that shit out, which is a pain in the ass where I live. It's all clay and rock, so it is not a fun job. Let's just put it that way. It's not a fun job. But it's just a job that needs to be done. So it's one of those things that you just like, suck it up, princess, and just get on with it. Yeah. So I will. That is definitely the next job on the list, because I want to do that just so I can use the backyard and not have to look at the septic tank, which I have no desire to look at. It's just a tank. Like who the... Anyway, people out there who have the open exposed septic tank, you know my pain. You know, a lot of people, what they do is they put like a wooden wall or like a metal wall or something. Like I said, because I've already got some of the building materials, I'm just going to use that because I've already got it. It's not because I think it's better or worse. I've already got the materials, so I'm just going to use it, and that's how I say it. Anywhere I can save a bit of money, I'm going to do that. That's my plan. Like, I don't want to be wasting money where I don't need to waste money. Let me just finish this can so I can go get another one. I'll be right back. All right. So that's basically where I'm up to with the jobs that I need to do. Yeah, so you can see there's a ton of jobs I need to do. Painting and fixing that wall or building that wall is definitely important jobs. I've got to finish the. Come here then. Come here. Come here. Whoa. Oh my God. Oh. Yes. Yes. Sit on my lap. Look up. My keyboard, because I feel like she's going to step on it. Yeah. So I do have a ton of jobs to do still. I think the camera's really giving this cat justice right now. Like, yeah. Anyway. So yeah. So for those out there who want a few tips on saving money when you have your house, a couple of things you can do, which aren't really money savers, but it takes the pressure off. One thing I haven't done is you can pay some of your bills, like your electricity and your water. Put in if you can put in like $5 or $10 a week or something on that, then so you have like a payment plan with the company, and then basically that means that you won't get a massive bill. I do that with my rates. So I pay I think my rates are I think they're like $1,500 or something a year, something like that. I can't remember how much they are. They were going up. I think they started around $1,300. I think they've got up to about $1,500 or something, something like that. So I think I pay like $76 or something a fortnight to the council, and then that means that when the rates come, I'm not going to get smashed with a really awful bill. So that's basically what you can do. You can pay some of your bills in advance. If you've got the money to do that, I would recommend it. It's like paying your car rego for the year. If you can do that, do that. Obviously, doing things like that means that you can kind of live your life, and you're not going to get like massacred by like a $400, $500 bill straight up, and you're just going to be like, really wasn't expecting that, and I didn't really want to be forking out that kind of money right now, but obviously I need to pay my bills, so that's important, so I'm going to do that. And yeah, so that's obviously that's obviously, yeah, that's neither here nor there. That's just a couple of tips from me, the things that, look, a lot of people, young people in particular, I'm not going to name names, obviously. I don't know if these people watch my videos. I highly doubt that. I couldn't imagine why anyone I know would want to watch my video. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This person is a typical young person, at least how they think. Very typical. Very green around the ears when it comes to life. Anyway, she was building a house, and she wanted a flash kitchen, which is what she got ordered to build. And look, you do not need that right as your first home. Okay, you don't need your first home to have all the flash, especially if you're living on your own. Even if you've got someone living with you, there is no way you are ever going to, in your entire life, probably use an industrial sized kitchen. All right, I'm sorry, but people out there, especially women, who think you need an industrial sized kitchen, no, you don't. You do not cook that much. Nobody does. I know people that do cooking for a living. They don't even have, or used to do cooking for a living. They don't even have a kitchen, nowhere near that. And the people that love baking and love cooking, and that's fine, you're not going to use that kitchen the way that the one that you bought. Look, I'm sorry, you wasted your money. That's reality talking. That's reality. So my advice is, if you're building a house or getting a house, get one that suits your budget, and just get one that doesn't have to have everything, just has to have the basics. You can get the other stuff later. I did with the roll of blinds, right? It's annoying not having it, I will admit, yes, but it's money off your mortgage, okay? Instead of paying, I paid $3,000 for getting all the roll of blinds done in the house. And so instead of borrowing an extra $3,000, which will compound interest over time, over say the 30-year loan, that's probably another $3,000 on top of that. And that's just because you wanted to have it straight away instead of just waiting. All right. So as for having the U-View kitchen and all that stuff. No, you do not need it. Do not waste your money on that crap. Okay? Um, think. All I can say. Like, it's your money. Do whatever you want with it, and grow as much as you think you can pay back. But yeah, I mean, end of the day, you've got to be able to afford it, and you look at what you can afford. And if that's not real, like, don't buy it, don't build it. In her defense, she's very young, so she's got a lot longer to pay it off, and she does a high paying job. So, yeah, I mean, there's a good chance that she can do that if she focuses on and makes that happen. But I don't know, typical young person thinks like a young person kind of does, so doesn't always think about the future, like 10 or 15 years down the track. So it doesn't think that, where's my life going to be, and how I'm going to do this. One thing I've always wanted to do in life, and I said it in the previous one, is I've always wanted to do trading. The way I see it is, and I've spoken about this before, is that all the rich people in the world, they don't do a regular job like the rest of us. We're peons, right? We do a job. They don't. Why is that? Think about it. Why don't they do it? Why do we do it? I'm not saying that you shouldn't go out and work. Obviously, you have to. This is reality. We're not all gifted with lots of money and can do stuff like that. We're not trained to do investing. None of us are. Okay, let's be real. None of us are trained to do investing. That's why the majority of us fail at it miserably. And that's why all the select few don't. So, what I'm saying is, if you want to make real money, you need a side hustle, right? And you need to, like, think. Yeah. I'll tell you something. Look, there's this really motivated person I know, very attractive, like super attractive girl, like definitely a 10, right? Like, without me being biased or anything, like, I worked with her, I knew her. Anyway, she used to be a nurse. But look, she was doing a side hustle, personal training, and that ended up being like way more powerful and way more influential in her life. That she was making the same amount of money she made over the year as a nurse. She made that in 3 months being a personal trainer. That's how good she was at it, or good she is at it. I think she still does it. Anyway, what I'm saying is the side hustle can pay off way more than the actual job sometimes. Think about that, like someone who's doing like getting RN wages and then going, well, I'm earning 4 times that, so I'm not going to do that job anymore. I'm going to do the other job. That's insane. That's insane. Like something that takes a university degree and then something that's a TAFE course. And the TAFE course pays that much. Look, like I said, she's a 10. She uses it to her advantage to make the money. She's highly motivated. She's good at what she does. Obviously, you can't make that kind of money if you're bad at that particular thing. Let's be real. Let's be real. But the important thing is that to learn from that is side hustles pay. And if you're good at your side hustle, you can make bank. You can make real bank. And like that can change your life. That can be like winning the lotto. That can be like permanently winning the lotto because you know how to make that kind of money all the time. All the time. Like not a little bit, all the time. So look, if I could tell you anything about anything making money, side hustle. Think about it. Think about that in all seriousness. Really think about it. Like, I know a lot of you will think, nah, it's too much of a challenge, and I'm scared, and I don't want to fail. And if you don't try, you already failed. 100%, all the time. That's not me talking. That's reality talking. If you don't want to be failing that stuff in life, you have to try. Don't be afraid to try. It's okay to fail. We all fail. It's being human. Failure is acceptable. It's how you take that failure that leads to success. Now, I've watched a lot of people in my life, and look, I've been through a lot of shit in my life, like a lot of shit, a lot of stuff. Like I know a lot of people go on about stuff, right? Right. Let me tell you, some things break people, right? I know some of the stuff I've been through, some of the other people I know been through similar stuff, and they're broken people. They aren't coming back from that. I'm sorry, but they're not. They're not strong enough up here to take the shit and move on. Yeah, and that's basically it. And I've taken all the crap the world has thrown at me. It's probably going to throw a hell of a lot more. Probably ain't done with me yet. That's fine. But I've used it to become, instead of becoming a broken piece of glass, to become a jagged scalpel blade that's aiming at success. And the one key thing I have over a lot of other people is I got patience to spare. Like a lot of people don't realize how much of a gift that can be sometimes, but it's not a gift. It's hard work. I can tell you that. But like it's putting up with everything that the world throws at you and going, I have time to figure this out. I have time to make it turn that negative into a positive in my life. If I can't do that, I'll be just like all the other broken people that I see around me. I can be weak like them, or I can be strong. And if I'm not strong up here, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I know people in my life that are going through some stuff and talking about, well, I can't say it on here, but let's just say stuff I've already been through in my life. And I think they consider themselves stronger than me. But they're only just going to start to go through this stuff now. And I don't know if they've got the strength. I mean, I'd like to believe they do, but yeah. They have to prove it to me that they're stronger than me. They have to prove it to me that they can get through it like I did, if not better. But they don't want to hear anything I have to say, so it is what it is, you know. Life is what it is. Again, it's not my stuff to talk about, so it's other people's stuff. You know, That's all I can say. So you can let shit break you. Every time the world throws something shitty at you and you feel like you'll be beaten, you can let the world do that. And that can be your story. That can be the end of your story. That's what you want. Or you can be that scalpel, can be that sharp piece of blade. And you find the inner strengths that you have to go, I've got this. I've been thrown into the gutter a million times. Every time I think I've progressed to the next part of life and I'm on to the next phase of my life, I get smashed back down to the very start where I started, where everything started. And I can let that beat me, or I can just find a way to walk through it and keep walking and keep trying. I mean, I can tell you as a man that's been alone for the majority of my adult life, it's not easy. You know, a lot of guys, it breaks a lot of guys, 100%. And I get it. I 100% get it. But does that mean you give up? You want to be like everyone else and just give up? Or do you want to just, I don't know what the next 5 years is to hold in my life. I didn't know my life would end up where I am now. I had no idea about any of it. I didn't know that I would have a passion for nursing. I didn't know that I would even do nursing. I didn't know that I would do anything. But here I am, and you know what? Thank God. And everything in my life right now, I earn for myself. Every single thing. No one gave me a goddamn thing. Not one thing. No one has given me anything. No one has helped me. No one has cared. Like nothing. Everything you see, that's because I said, I want that, and I'm going to have that. And I don't give a shit what the rest of you think. That's mine. I'm taking it. It's mine, basically. like, you know, that kind of mentality, you know. And yeah, and like trying to do it all on your own is hard. Like most people have a partner. Most most people have someone else to do, like buy a house together and live together and have someone to back each other. And go, is this a good idea? And the other person's like, nah, that's shit. Don't do that. Like when you're on your own, you have to decide all that shit for yourself, right? Like you don't know one to tell you whether or not you're going to make a terrible decision or whether you're going to make a good decision. And you have to trust your own instincts and go, there's no one else to rely on but me, and I've got to make it work. And it's going to work or it's not. But look, everything you see is because of nursing, okay? That's because of nursing. None of the other jobs I ever did in my life, even though they gave me experience and knowledge in other aspects of life, you could say, didn't provide anything like this. They couldn't. All the other stuff was too poor paying. Man, like it was like the lowest of the low pay. Like, yeah. So, yeah, that's the beauty of education and finding something that you love, right? So, all I can say is if you find something you love, just do it. Like, go for it, because you don't know what the world's going to have in 5 years' time. All of this might seem impossible out there, especially the way things are, like the affordability of houses and like everything. Like most people are looking at life going, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. Like every time I feel like I've got enough and doing enough, the bar moves 100 steps forward, and I'm sitting here going, I don't know how to catch up to you guys. I don't know what I've got to do to have what you got, to have what you have. Like, so all I can say is don't give up. You don't know. None of us know. That's the beauty of it all. None of us know. We don't know what we're going to do. For all I know, I could be Prime Minister of this country one day. That's laughable. That's not going to happen. Come on. That is not going to happen. Why would anyone trust me running a country? Yeah, and that is a nice thought, but it's not reality. Come on. It'd be interesting, but it's not going to happen. All I'm saying is none of us know where our lives are going to be, what we're going to be doing, and why. Just trust. Have some trust in the universe. You don't believe in God, trust the universe has a plan for you. Right? That's fine if you don't believe in God. It's just sad for you, but you know, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. No one's going to change that until God is ready to change that for you. But I'm not here to convince you and preach to you, so that's all I'll say about that. Whatever you want to believe. Right? It's the same as ghosts and stuff. A lot of people don't believe in ghosts. I get that. I 100% know why people think like that. But I've also seen so much stuff that you know that there's something going on. Like you know that there's something going on. I don't know what that is. I don't know why it is. I don't know why we see it. But I know that it's real because I have seen it. And I've seen physical things happen in our world, like shit moving that shouldn't move. And you might say, oh, you know, yeah, you might say, well, this always happens. Oh. Yeah. So all I can say is, for those who don't believe and don't look, you don't even have to be open to this shit to see it. One of these days, you're going to see something and go, ooh, well, that creeps me out, and I don't know why that happened. All I can say is my own personal experience. Ghosts can't hurt you, all right? Demons can, like those kind of things can hurt you, but like as far as ghosts are concerned, like human, like they're not going to be throwing knives at you or anything like that. Like that would be very unlikely. That would be, that would anger you a lot. I imagine, like you'd be like, stop doing that. But you know, yeah, yeah. So uh, definitely, if you don't believe, that's fine. I've seen so much stuff, not just in nursing, but also when I used to do security, seen some stuff, and other people confirm that they've seen stuff as well. Couldn't really, I can't tell you because, well, I can, but I just know you're not going to believe anything I say, so it doesn't matter. Right? It's a moot point. You either believe or you don't. So the people that are like, oh, I just don't believe, it's like, yeah, I get it. I know you don't want to believe. And then one day they'll say something and they'll go, actually, excuse me. They'll be like, that's interesting. I don't know what to call it. I don't know how to explain it. And you'll be like, okay, so take that information however you want and deal with it in your own way. And I feel that's the same with God. I think if God wants you to believe, you will. So, everyone has their place in this world. This world has many different kinds of people for many different kinds of reasons, and that's why you just got to accept people for who they are and what they stand for. And you don't have to agree with everything they like. You don't have to support anything they do. I'm thinking of like the Republicans and the leftards. As a person who's more of a centralist in politics, I generally I don't pick sides. I just go, yeah, whatever's good for the country, whatever's at the time is good for the country. That's how I view it. That's how my votes go. Actually, interesting. Talking about work and stuff. A lot of this, I see a lot of these things get thrown out there, like with work. Like people say, they've ever heard of quiet quitting, and I've never heard of such a term. But basically, they're basically saying, well, these people aren't going above and beyond in their job. Well, maybe that's just who they are. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just want to get paid and go home. I don't know that I would personally say that anyone's quitting their job by doing that. They're not. They're just doing their job. That's it. I've never heard that term until this year. So it's different. It's certainly different. I will say getting back into some exercise, trying. I'm just going to keep trying, keep doing little steps, little, until I can start putting together a bit of a exercise routine plan that I can keep up with. It's been 5 years since I've done any kind of training. So that's how out of shape and out of touch I am with my training. Yeah, I was riding the old pushy today, and I can tell you what, it made me feel fat as hell. I mean, not fat as hell, but like you're just like, oh my God, am I puffed out? Like, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm just going to work on it slow and hopefully I can build up back into it. And the only reason I'm wanting to is because I want to lose the gut, If I can get a flat stomach again, that would be good. That's what I'm really focused on. I don't want to get obsessive like how I used to be with my training. I used to be like super obsessive, like crazy obsessive. So I'm not looking to do that kind of training again. But I would like to get back into some shape. The one thing I will say about training that sucks the most is the eating eating healthy all the time to get to the result you want. Oh my God, I hate that. I'm not gonna lie, I hate that. I like eating what I want to eat. Yeah. Oh well. I'm gonna go soon because I want to watch some TV and drink. So yeah. Give it a few minutes. So yeah, so that's basically what I want to do. I want to do some training to lose some weight. Um, so a lot of people will tell me that, oh, you're not fat. I'm fat. I'm not fat. I've got a pot belly that says that I'm fat. All right. Don't have to be nice about it. I know what I am. I accept the reality of the situation, and I'll do something about it. That's how I see it. If I do that, then we're good. I really hope it warms up soon. I really do not like this cold at all. I'm wondering what the cat's Booties. Booties. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, I suppose in the last more bit of news, obviously there's that thing about that sub, which was unsurprising to me about what happened to the people on that sub. I think OceanGate's doomed. If I was an employee of OceanGate, I'd be looking for another job straight away because they're about to get run through the financial gutter while all these people's families and everything sue the living bejesus out of them. They might say, oh, you signed a waiver, you can't sue us. It's like, you got people killed, right? Yeah, let's call a spade a spade. You screwed up and you ran that company dangerous. Shouldn't have been run like it was. Don't know if there's anything I need to say that hasn't already been said. I don't want to drag people through the mud and all that, but yeah, they're certainly going to get. If I was employed for that company, I'd be looking for a new job. That's what I do. And oh yeah, and Putin's obviously threatening nuclear weapons. He put 50 kiloton nuclear weapons in Belarus, which I think he plans to launch on Kiev maybe this year or next year. Expect a nuclear strike from Russia against Ukraine. Obviously, that'll be the start of World War III. Then we'll see NATO and the US finally stomp Russia into oblivion. Sorry, guys, but that's. I'm trying to not talk about negative stuff, and obviously that's. But I mean, you don't mention nuking someone 50 times in a year and then not do it, right? So we know he's going to do it. It's just a case of when. All I would say to the people of Kiev is get the hell out of there. He's talked about nuking you that many times, and he keeps launching missiles against Kiev, so obviously that's his main target. My advice would be to go to the outer suburbs, not outer suburbs, just leave. Go to one of the other cities in Ukraine. Just trust me, guys, like when that happens, like we'll cross that bridge when we need to cross it. But yeah, personally, I don't know why they don't just send a drone or something to go assassinate Putin. I don't know, just do something. His own people should have the balls to do it themselves, but they would rather face nuclear war than kill the one guy that would stop all of that. Like, you just kill him, that's it, the madness stops. But instead, they would rather have their families put at risk and not just obliterate him off the face of the earth. Like, I don't know why his own people don't just go, you're going to get taken out behind the shed and shot. Anyway, let's end this. It's gone an hour, so let's end this vlog here, where it is. Bruce and look, take it easy, guys. Hope you all do really well out there.